My beautiful YouTube family, what is good? Yours truly, Marv, back for another episode of Marvin's Room. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in and to the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Listen, got a great video today for you guys in regards to time and understanding what time really is and how the subconscious mind really knows no time. And I have a great excerpt that I want to read from the book, The Secret of Deliberate Creation by Robert Anthony. This is another self-help / law of attraction book that I came across at least 5 years ago. And it was one of the best books that I ever read, breaking down the concept of time. Because as you guys know, and I've said in multiple videos, I believe all of the LOA teachers, law of assumption teachers, law of attraction teachers, they do a great job at explaining certain aspects of law of attraction, law of assumption, but they do it in their own unique way. And when I can remember when I came across this passage I'm getting ready to read to you guys, I can remember thinking, man, this guy just literally explained so clearly about time and how it really is relative and how it really is not what we think it is. And ever since this one passage alone helped me really understand time from a different aspect and really get rid of a lot of fear and anxiety around the concept of time. So again, this is from The Secret of Deliberate Creation by Robert Anthony. Highly recommend you guys read the book if you get a chance. And so let's jump right into the passage, and it goes like this. Time makes us think it's real, and we are under its control. Time is persistent illusion. Einstein said that no matter how persistent the illusion of time, it is still an illusion. First of all, time is relative. Here's an example. You live in the East Coast of the United States of America, and the time is 9 p.m. on January 1st. At that same moment in Australia, it's the next day at 4 p.m. on January 2nd. My question to you is this: which is the real time? What time is it? If time were real, it would be the same time everywhere. Yet it is a day later and a different time in New York and Australia. Our conscious minds can only process a small amount of information. It needs a logical structure. Without that structure, our conscious minds can't function properly. So time provides that structure, but that doesn't make it real. It is important to note that only our conscious minds function only according to time. Our subconscious mind does not understand the concept of time. Past, present, and future are all one to our subconscious mind. That's why it's important to focus all of our goals in the present moment, because that is the only time our subconscious mind truly understands. Quantum physics shows us that the only time that truly exists is now. The only place is here. Anytime something happens, it's happening now. Even though your mind often wants to live in anticipation of the future memory or of the past, everything happens now. When you think about it, when do you remember your past? You remember it now. When do you dream of your future? You are dreaming of it now. When do you learn from your past? You learn from your past now. When you were actually in your past, it still was in the now. And that's where I'm going to end it right there. And I'll probably pick it back up and read a couple more excerpts from this passage in a later video. But hopefully, guys, I want you guys to go back and rewind this video and read what I just said, because obviously I'm not going to read it 2 times in a row. But I think he pointed out some great points on how time really means nothing and how everything that you do, it really all is in the now. And it's funny because I look at life, and you look at like everything in life has its place, everything in life has its order. And you think about, for instance, like the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom, in my opinion, from a common sense standpoint, you would think that these guys have no concept of time the way humans have concept of time. You know, these guys probably look at time as something as, you know, oh, when it gets light out, they can probably tell when it starts getting light out. You know, when they start hearing the birds singing, they can tell, oh, the sun's about to come up. When they feel the weather slightly change, that breeze in the air and different things like that. Like, this is why animals are so keen on their awareness, is because they develop these types of habits and they pay attention to this type of stuff throughout their life on Earth. These guys have to build up the awareness to be able to pay attention to the weather in the air. This is how these guys function when it comes to time. They pay attention to the weather in the air. They pay attention to when the birds start to sing early in the morning, they know, okay, the sun's about to come up. And then when they hear the birds stop singing, they know, okay, the sun's about to go down. When they feel the temperature change in the air, or they feel a different sort of breeze or a certain type of moisture in the air, all of these types of things, in my opinion, like, this is how animals communicate and understand time, when time is getting ready to change, when the seasons are getting ready to change, etc. But humans, we look at time totally different. We look at time based on seconds, based on minutes, based on hours, based on weeks, based on months, based on years. And to me, this creates a lot of the anxiety that we experience in life. And I just think that animals, for instance, they don't have these types of anxieties that human beings experience. And especially when it comes to manifestation, I think it's way easier for things like animals, etc., to manifest different things in their lives than it is for human beings to manifest different things in our lives, because animals, in my opinion, don't look at the concept of time running out. They don't feel like they're running out of something, because they don't even know that it exists the way that humans know time exists. So in a weird way, manifestation becomes easier to me, in my opinion, if you start approaching time the way that animals approach time, because they don't have the fear and anxiety around time, because they don't function off of a 24-hour clock or, different things like that. They don't have the worries and concerns, like we do. Like, animals aren't probably worried about paying taxes. You know what I'm saying? As funny as that sounds, animals worry about what? 4 basic things: shelter, taking care of themselves, taking care of their families, you know what I mean? How they're going to eat, that sort of stuff. Like, that's what animals worry about. They just wake up and they figure out, okay, where am I going to build shelter at for the next, however many days or weeks or months? What am I going to eat? Okay, I got to worry about protecting myself and protecting my family. That's really all it is. They don't have to worry about getting in cars and taking buses and traveling here and there to try to, different job interviews and all the type of stuff that humans worry about. And so it really is, it shows you like this dichotomy of human nature and manifestation, and animals and their sort of level of manifestation, because I believe animals manifest as well. I believe everything on earth that's alive and living, manifests in their own right. And like I said, if we could just look at time a hell of a lot differently and understand that the present moment in manifestation is the only thing that really exists. And this is why Dr. Joe Dispenza, for instance, he's another one who always talks about staying in the present moment. And he always talks about trying to trick your mind into thinking that a future event is currently happening in the present moment. And this is all manifestation is. This is all law of assumption is like this guy talks about in this book, in this excerpt, that time is not real. If you could train your mind, the most important part, in my opinion, is if you could train your mind to stay in the present moment, you will literally alleviate pretty much 90+% of the distractions of all of the problems that you have around manifesting. But the problem is most people cannot control their minds. We have 60,000+ thoughts a day, according to research, and we can't control our minds. So a lot of people, I'm realizing a lot of you guys are doing affirmations. A lot of you guys are doing, visualizations, which is fine because everybody's different. But I think something a lot of us should be practicing a hell of a lot more in this manifestation world. I think a lot of us should be practicing silencing our minds, quieting our minds. Because when you quiet the mind, when you stop thought, you stop resistance. And when you stop resistance, you increase vibration, you increase that attraction naturally. Abraham Hicks speaks about this. And I think the biggest problem that most of us have with manifesting is we cannot stop our thoughts. We cannot control our thoughts. And we can learn to do this by simply incorporating a daily meditation practice of at least, say, 15 to 20 minutes every day, finding 15 to 20 minutes to just silence your mind and quiet it so that you can stop living in the past, so you can stop living in the future. Because like I've said religiously in videos in the past and the future are two thieves that rob you of the present moment. This is why people can't stay in the present moment. This is why people can't revise. This is why people, have a hard time visualizing, because there's so many blocks and they're thinking about a negative experience that they had with their specific person or a negative experience that they had with their job, like Neville says, unrevised scenes of the past or sin, and you keep reliving that, keep reliving it over and over again. So in my opinion, I think, like I always say, there's no one size fits all, but I think a big step that I would encourage a lot of you to take is to, if you're not incorporating a meditation practice to where you are just closing your eyes for say 15 to 20 minutes every day and just focus on your breath, focus on your heartbeat, or if you don't want to close your eyes, find an object, find a candle flame, and just focus on that candle flame. Just try to solemnly focus on that candle flame so you can stop thought. Because I realize stopping thought is one of the most powerful things that helped me personally through my meditation journey, through my law of attraction, law of assumption journey. And I noticed a huge difference in how I was able to control my thoughts just from simply learning to meditate for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Now I can meditate 30, 45 minutes easily every day. And I realized doing that, focusing on things like breath work and different things, even EFT, as you guys know that have done the EFT stuff on my videos, the EFT tapping on my videos, that sort of thing, different things like that help your mind from going to the past, to help your mind from going to the future and creating anxiety and creating depression, because depression is obviously a symptom of remaining in the past and thinking about the past. And then anxiety is obviously a side effect of thinking about the future so much and not being comfortable with the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. So I think if you can approach time the way Dr. Robert Anthony talks about in this excerpt that I just read, I think you guys will be in great shape. And I think the way to do that is to stop looking at time. You gotta forget a lot of what you learned in life. And this is not just with law of attraction. This is with a lot of stuff. Like, as we're on this journey, I realized a lot of things that we learned growing up in school, in grade school, whether it was elementary school, middle school, high school. I've learned over the years a lot of stuff we were taught it's not true. It's just wrong thinking. You know, a lot of the stuff that we've been taught, we've been lied to. We haven't been taught the real information that we need to know. So a lot of the new stuff that you guys want to learn, you're going to have to do your own digging. You're going to have to self-educate yourself. What's that saying? A formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. So the stuff that you really want to learn, the stuff that really matters, the stuff that's really going to change your life, you have to learn that stuff on your own. You have to do your own research. So I highly encourage you guys to do your own research. With this LOA stuff, if you guys are struggling with staying in the present moment, like I said, I highly recommend you guys start incorporating a daily practice, because a lot of you guys, you don't incorporate certain steps because you watch different YouTubers and you hear different YouTubers and people in blogs saying, oh, you don't need to meditate. All you need to do is affirm, 100 million times a day, or blah, 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 blah. And, again, everything isn't for everyone. So you have to figure out what works for you. And I understand a lot of people have a very difficult time quieting their mind, thinking about the past all the time and thinking about the future. And I think if you guys can incorporate time the way Robert Anthony talks about, and if you can incorporate a meditation practice where you're just focusing on your breath, focusing on your heartbeat, or put an object in front of you and just focus on that object for 20 minutes straight, 30 minutes straight, I think you guys will see that those thoughts in your mind will stop being so sporadic, and they will start to kind of combine into one, and you will kind of start to see some sort of synergy and focus, and you will realize, oh, I can be able to focus more, because it's been proven. Meditation has been proven to increase gray matter in your brain. Meditation has been proven to help with thinking disorders, or brain disorders like ADHD, ADD, and different things like that, to help anxiety, to help depression. But a lot of you guys won't touch it because YouTubers are telling you don't have to do it. And so you're like, oh, I'm not going to do it, or you watch some video or you're trying to find the fastest way, because we're in a microwave generation. Everybody wants to put their manifestation in a microwave, like I say, and press 30 and then have that shit pop out. You know what I mean? And it's not going to work that way for most people. For some people it can, but for a lot of people, I realized you have to do the work. And it's something that a lot of people don't want to do. Like, they literally don't want to do the work. Meditation scares people. The thought of sitting there for 30 minutes, it scares people. But I can assure you, if you do it, it will become a habit. And I guarantee you will love it. And I guarantee you will stop having those 60,000+ thoughts a day being negative, because most of us, our thoughts are negative thoughts because we've been thinking the same way for the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years, however many years we've been on earth. So I highly, highly recommend you guys look at time differently, incorporate meditation in your daily practice. In 30 days, check back in the results. I guarantee you will see such a calmness in your mind. And it will be a lot easier for you to manifest and stay focused. All right, guys. It's been another episode of Marv's Room. See you guys next time. You know where, you know when.